Ludwig Mies van der Rohe was a prominent modernist architect and designer of the early 19th century. He was brought up in Germany, where he was the last director of the Bauhaus, which had been shut down due to Nazism. He began his connection with architecture at a very young age. Due to his father already in the building business, Mies believed he was steeped into the building trade from the outset. Mies attended craft day school in 1899 to 1901. Along with vocational training, he worked alongside his father and brother, assisting them in making tombstones. He also did unpaid bricklaying work, believing in the experience that he was gaining. As he states, "Architecture starts when you put two bricks together. There it begins." The simplicity in his designs and truth to materials that he used to create atmospheres interacted with the surrounding environment, which is what made his designs famous and inspired contemporary architects. Mies built and designed the Alois Real house for a famous German philosopher at the age of 21. The simple front, centralized, surrounded by the simple green landscape, was different to the havoc of the city, and is what made his design desirable. His manner of accommodating the house to its natural environment is what made this house attractive. The design of the house intrigued a well-known German architect who played a huge role in modernizing Germany. Peter Brands had offered Mies a job, beginning his career. Throughout his career, Ludwig Mies van der Rohe embraced the modernist design principles of the 1950s and created new architectural forms that had never been made before. The element of leisure was significant in the 19th century. Due to the mechanical advances, less labor was involved. As the time raised from the Art Nouveau, people were replaced by machines, resulting in a faster production rate as objects were no longer carved by hands. Design was shifting from the decoration and detail towards a mechanical and futuristic aesthetic, which is what Mies incorporated in his designs, such as the Barcelona chair. The Barcelona chair was designed in 1929 for the Spanish exhibition by Mies and his design partner Lily Reich. This chair had eliminated the Art Nouveau style of decoration and extensive element. The concept of the chair was to open up the space below and make it seem as though the person is floating in space. The use of fabric to make the chair plump and cubed aids the luxury aesthetic of the 1950s. The steel frame of the chair is visible, reflecting the new mechanical age, showcasing how relevant this chair was in revolutionizing design. The flow of the metal support sways in a manner to create a dynamic of comfort and luxury, displaying how an individual's back would seem as they lounged on this chair. The empty space under the chair allows the individual to see through to the other side, making a room seem open and spacious. It's an extremely simple way of delineating space. The chair is simple, its structure evident in its appearance. As Mies uses the steel frames and displays it against the fabric cushions of the chair, not hiding the charm of the metal or the texture of leather in his design. Mies was good at using the materials he had in an abstract manner, without hiding their true form. Mies embraced the materials he used by making them visible, displaying their true form. The materials widely used at the time were glass, steel, chrome, and wood. As Mies readily used glass in many of his structures with frames of steel, these elements assisted his values of less is more, as he was able to create airy dynamics in his design. The use of glass was intended to create a connection, a dissolution between the interior and the exterior, and the exterior being the focal point and the element of interest in his design. Mies used the materials he had to create abstract buildings that had never been made before. He became more experimental when he moved to America after the fall of the Bauhaus. This is evident through the Farnsworth House, built in 1954 by Mies, with floor-to-ceiling glass, showcasing the interior, which is structured by the metal panes, which express the method used to make the object. The house was made from glass and completely white, so the only color or focal point of interest was the environment surrounding the house. The environment provided the structure with color and charm. Mies had been experimental, including minimal walls, mostly panes of glass, framing the surrounding scenery. The embrace of nature and the manner in which Mies accommodated his designs to the environment has been highly influential on contemporary designers. Glenn Murcutt, an Australian architect and designer, reflects the blend of modernist sensibility and respect for nature, as seen in Mies' designs. Murcutt was born in London in 1936. His parents were, however, Australian. Murcutt had spent his childhood in New Guinea, which sparked his interest in architecture that displayed simplicity. After gaining his degree in architecture from the University of New South Wales, his career launched. Murcutt had collectively obtained 25 architecture awards. His design displays simplicity and the expression of nature, highlighting how the wind moves and the sun casts shadows and how the building captures views, which is seen in his design of the M Pavilion. Glenn always prioritized the environment in his design, making the surrounding nature the focal point, very similar to Mies' work. The material that the M Pavilion was made of is steel frames, just as Mies had used frequently throughout his designs. The concept of the M Pavilion is to accommodate his design to the natural environment. His idea of making the M Pavilion a crisp white building gives it lightness, and employs the modernist principles of simplicity and displaying the true forms of materials. The white poles holding the structure together also provide a cubic frame that allows the building to interact with the environment, having the same effect of glass in Mies' buildings. Glenn embraced the true form of materials in his design, allowing him to create atmospheres that adapted to the climate. Glenn is well known for his evaluation of the environment well before he creates a structure. The Simpson Lee House displays the extent at which Glenn goes to ensure his design interacts with the climate and the surroundings without hiding the charm of the materials he uses. The Simpson Lee House, created in 1988 to 1993 in the Blue Mountains, New South Wales, displays how Glenn focused on ventilation, going to the extent of elevating the house over a ledge in order to maintain the breeze of the natural air and create a well-ventilated space. The building has a floating dynamic, with the use of large glass panes structured with exposed metal panels surrounding the house, which create an abstract line work through the reflections. The house is entered through the glazed glass paneling in the living room of the house. This uninterrupted connection to the landscape allows the room to be experienced as an open veranda. This dynamic created by Glenn is largely like Mies' creations, which accommodate the environment and diverge attention towards the exterior. The manner in which Mies created his simple yet abstract modernist buildings had a huge influence on contemporary designers such as Glenn Murcutt, who have learned to value the materials and environment in their designs.